Hello everyone, hopefully you can hear me and see me correctly. If not, please let me know so I can adjust the stream. But I think that everything should be working. Also, there's some delay, like there's like a 20 seconds delay between when I actually say something and when you see it. So if yeah, it's going to take those seconds. So if you can confirm that you can hear me and see me, that would be great. And also please let me know if the music is like too loud or you want or too low. This is something I can control here, so feel free to let me know. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Miguel. So yeah, hello everyone. I am super excited to be here with you, and I hope that you're also excited. As you know, this is the, let's say, introductory webinar to introduce you to the second edition of the IFC.js crash course. You know that there was a previous edition to you. You are, let's say, the second group of people that want to get started in the world of BIM software development. And yeah, the first edition went great. I will talk about it a little bit, and yeah, I'm super glad to have you here. So let's get straight to the course. I will be seeing your questions in real time in the stream, or actually not in real time. I will see them like 20-30 seconds afterwards. When you ask them, I will try to answer them. And I will do my best to answer them. So yeah, don't be shy. Feel free to ask me anything that you need, and yep, let's get started with this. So I'm gonna hide that guy. Perfect. So what is the IFC.js crash course? And what is IFC.js? Probably you have heard of the project before. I don't know how familiar you are with what we are doing or why we are doing this course at all, or yeah. I'm not gonna bore you a lot because I know that you're here for the course, not for probably IFC.js itself, but just to give you some context, IFC.js is a open source initiative where we are trying to make a difference in the BIM software environment. You know that BIM has many parts. BIM is not only software, we know that. Software is something that helps BIM take place. BIM is a methodology. It's something or a set of processes. But yeah, software plays a very important part in the BIM, of course. And the thing is that we now have a problem with software in our industry because there's not many companies selling BIM software at a large scale, and that means that if there's a small company that want to become a, let's say, BIM software developer and to get into this market, which by the way is very profitable, they have a really hard time because you have to compete with someone that has been, let's say, winning the same game for 30 years. So of course, that means that they have millions of lines of code that you would need to work, reverse engineering every single thing. And that is something, in my opinion, it's really unrealistic to think that one company, no matter how good your idea is, that one company comes into the BIM or to the AEC industry and suddenly beats the big guys, right? So our strategy is a bit different. Instead of making software and selling it, we are making software and making it free, but not for end users. We are making it free so that other people can build BIM software on top of that. So in the end, software is like a car. It's made of different pieces. We are making engines so that anyone can come and build a car around the engine easily and not investing a lot of time. And this is what this course is about. In this course, we are going to learn a lot of stuff. We are going to start from the ground up, and we will learn how to make 3D BIM software that is able to read and write IFC files, and also other things like 3D scans, GIS, navigation, interactivity, a lot of things, a lot of technologies. I don't know if you had an opportunity to take a look at the course. It's quite long. I think it's 20 hours or only in video, but it also has a lot of content. So yep, it's a long journey, but in the end you will be able to build very, very cool 3D BIM software from scratch. And our mission is to enable anyone to create their BIM software, both companies and people, individuals, because in our opinion, our industry should be something more similar to the video game industry, where any company from any size, no matter if it's, let's say, I don't know, Activision, a big company, or if it's a small company, anyone can make a game and try their best in the game market. We would like to have the same in the BIM industry, in the BIM software industry. So that's what we are doing. And that's what this course is about: how to create BIM software using web technologies and multiple technologies from multiple people. But of course, we will also cover the technology that we did. So if you go to the platform, by the way, the access to the platform can take 24 hours. The reason for that is that Notion doesn't allow us to automatically add you to the platform. This is a Notion limitation, but every 24 hours we have someone adding you manually. So yeah, you should, if you access Notion with your mail, with the mail that you registered and everything, you should have this shared, let's say, section, and here you should have the IFC.js crash course, and you can actually unfold that and you can see all the sections of the course. And if you unfold a section, you will see all the lessons of the course. And if you unfold all the sections, you will see that there's a lot to learn. I mean, one thing with this course is that the assumption is that it assumes that you have no previous knowledge with programming. So it starts from scratch, teaching you the basics. So don't worry, you don't need to know anything in advance. But we are also aware that there's many people here that happened in the first edition that already know a little bit about coding, perhaps not in web, but in other languages like Dynamo, C#, or even visual programming languages or visual programming tools, not languages, like Dynamo or Grasshopper. And so in this course, there's a mix. In the beginning, everything is a bit slow and very, let's say, step by step and very almost like baby steps. And this includes HTML and CSS. These topics are very, let's say, low difficulty. But then as the course progresses, we will assume that you practice, because we provide you with some exercises in some of the lessons. We assume that you practice, we assume that you, let's say, get some coding strength on the way. So if you are someone that knows how to code, do not worry, because as the course progresses, we get faster and faster, and in the end, in the last sections are actually really agile. Like, we already assume that you know everything that we explained in the lessons before, and we go relatively fast, because otherwise the course would be like very, very long. When I say fast, I don't mean like there's less content. That just means that we assume that you know the basics and we jump straight into the interesting things. Regarding the topics that we cover, there's many, and those include things like making 3D BIM applications together with GIS that work directly in the browser, loading 3D scans, making interactive things. One thing that I wanted to have for today, but unfortunately it will be ready tomorrow, is a video that recaps all the proposals for the final hackathon. Because yes, one of the reasons why this course has an open and closed registration is because we organize hackathons within the course. And that means that you have the opportunity to use what you learn here to create an application and present that to the hackathon. And if you want to know more about that, you can go to the welcome section and the how can I start. And if you go down, you will see that here you have the rules. So yeah, you see that there's many prizes. Like I think there are 13 prizes, and a lot of them are like, as you know, even the lowest price already covers the price of the course. If you didn't have any discount, if you have discount, you will even get some extra cash. So yeah, I completely encourage you. This is not something you have to do. This is optional, but the idea is that at the end of the course, and this is something that we have to decide yet, because in the first edition, the students didn't have the whole thing available from the beginning. We were releasing a section every 2 weeks, and in the end we organized the hackathon and we gave them one entire month to develop the exercise. In this case, we didn't make a decision because we are not aware of your level, so we want to talk that through with you. As the course progresses, we want to check out how are you doing, what do you think. For us, your feedback is super important. You may see these kind of yellow things, and this is because you have the option to make comments using Notion technology. And that is super cool, because that means that if a student have a question, you will see the question in the exact same place where the content is and the answer to that question. You will also see that, and also you can use that to make feedback, like, okay, yes, they are saying that August is outdated, and yes, this is something that we have to decide yet. But as I say, we want to organize another hackathon with you guys. We want, this is not something you have to do if you don't want to, but we encourage you to do that. And if you create a final exercise, you will get a completion certificate of the course. Yeah, and so basically what I recommend is that you create anything. Don't worry, don't stress too much. We will get enough time. You will have enough time to go through all the lessons, so ask all the questions that you need, and in the end you will have time to create something and get the certificate and maybe get some prize, because you can create one exercise and then present that both to the hackathon as a course final exercise. Otherwise, there's no deadlines. Of course, the hackathon has a deadline, but if you are not interested in this, you can just skip that, forget about that, and just make the course at your own pace. And whenever you present the exercise, we'll give you the certificate. You don't have to hurry, you don't have to worry. We are aware that there's many people. Each person has a different schedule, a different let's say working conditions. So yeah, super flexible. That's the summary. And with this, we want to encourage you to create something. What happened in the last hackathon is that a lot of people, because usually the hardest thing about this course is that there's many people with different levels, and people that is starting now think that they are not going to be able to beat people that knew some coding from before, but that was not the case in the first hackathon. If you take a look at the let's say the video we will release tomorrow, and also if you navigate in the, I think it's somewhere here. Yeah, here you have at the end video is the hackathon results, and you will see who won, and you will see that many of the winners had no idea about programming before. So really, I encourage you to get your feet wet and try to make anything. And the dates are yet to be discussed. So this is it. The course is really straightforward. You have to do it in order, of course, and it's divided in lessons. Each lesson has a video. The length of the video depends on the lesson. We tried to make all the videos short, but that was not possible in all the lessons. All the videos have automatic subtitles in English. So if you're not that fluent with English, you can also activate them using the video tools. And if you don't like my Spanish accent, of course, you can just go down and you have all the explanations in writing. You will also have permanent access to this, so you don't have to worry about copying this somewhere. You can use this as your personal notes if you want. And yeah, you have all the code snippets. And in some lessons, you will see this hands-on thing. Those are small exercises that we propose you to make to practice the concepts. So of course, again, this is completely optional. You don't have to do it, but if you do them, of course, you will in my opinion, you will settle the knowledge that you get. The first exercises are super easy, and as I told you, we walk you through all the steps, like opening the IDE, creating a file, start writing the code in the file, and executing that in a local server, like step by step. And that as the course progresses, like if I go for example here, and I go to, I don't know, for instance, this lesson, which is an advanced lesson of Three.js, and I go down, you see that we have a lot of code here with no explanation, because many of those things were explained before in other lessons, step by step. And if I click here, you will see the application of the exercise that we propose. The first application that you saw here, the HTML, it was just a hello world, like, okay, write something in HTML and display it. This exercise includes a loading progress to download and open a 3D scan in a 3D interactive scene in the browser directly, so that we can actually, once this is loaded, we can actually navigate this around. And if I double click, I can create labels. I don't know. Of course, these exercises are relatively, simple. We don't develop the whole, like, we don't develop Revit here from scratch, because that wouldn't make any sense. The point of this course is teaching you all the foundations and make a lot of relatively small exercises so that you can get a taste of what is it like to create a 3D application that you can interact with, or how is it like to I don't know, create a GIS application and provide a map or a 3D map with buildings to the user so that they can navigate around. So yeah, this is one of the advanced exercises. And as you see, I can also go here and delete the label, and I can create as many labels as I want. And I could even save those labels, perhaps send them to someone else so that they open the model directly using just an URL and they see the labels. So yeah, cool stuff. And this is the structure. You go from top to bottom, you see the lessons, you have all the solved, by the way, you have all the solved exercises in GitHub. If you go, you see that this is a code editor embedded directly in the course. So this is, my opinion, really cool. And if you want to see the code, if you go up to the hands-on, here you always have this card that if you click that card, you will get redirected to this GitHub repository that has everything, like the IFC models, the 3D scans, and all the exercises ordered or let's say in folders with the name of the section. And inside this section you have all the topics that we cover, and inside each topic you find the full application. So yep, that's the structure of the course. Very straightforward. You can make questions either here or in the students channel. That's important. I'm not sure if you all are in Discord already. If not, I recommend you to go to the IFC.js Discord server, which is open and available to everyone. But because you are in the course, you will have this, or you should see this exclusive channel where all the people with green name are students, and you will also meet the people from the previous edition of the course. And we are making more courses, and we want to bring everything together in this channel so that we have a very nice community of students and people learning at different levels at the same place so that they can help each other. So yeah, if you're not here, again, this is optional, but I highly recommend you to get here because many times we make the announcements here, and if you are here, you will get the notifications, and it's in my opinion, it's much better than mail or yeah. If you have quick questions, this is going to be quicker than asking the question here. If you have a more formal question that you would like to remain in the course content, or if you have a feedback, you can simply click here and create the comment and we will address that. So this is it. This is the design of the course. We of course put a lot of effort into it. At the end of each section, you will find a exercise, which of course is again optional, but I recommend you to do it because practice is what will help you, let's say, settle the knowledge and be able to do things afterwards. If you just watch the lessons and never do anything yourself and just watch me coding, I think that you will have trouble when you try to do your own things. So 100% optional. Don't think that you have to do this to get the certificate. The only thing that you need to get the certificate is to make a final exercise. This, let's say, partial exercises, optional. I'm repeating this a lot because we said this in the last edition, and there was like a lot of people thinking that they had to do this. But yeah, I mean, if they do this, great for you. And in fact, my advice is, as you go in the course, make these exercises and start building something step by step. And in the end, you will have like something you can present to the hackathon and to the course to get the certificate without making an extra effort in the end period that we give you to make it. So, yep, I think this is it. I don't know if you have any questions so far. Okay, there seems to be a lot of things. Okay, will a recording of this stream be available? Yeah, sure. So well, sorry, that name is hard for Spanish. Suarochisa. Yeah, sure. I will record. I'm recording this, and I will upload this to the platform so that you have available anytime. And 100% of the content, the videos, the writing content, the code, everything, it's available forever. So, yep. I am one, and Terry Walters asks, I'm wondering about all these examples we are seeing from the last group. What was the average starting knowledge and skill of the students that built the project? They're pretty impressive. Yeah, I mean, I would say that many people complained to us because they thought that this course should focus only in the advanced stuff and that we should forget about the basics. And actually there was like a quite, I don't know, I think in the first edition we had more than 400 students and perhaps 50 or 100, not of that group, like in addition to those 400 people, there was like a 1/4 of that people or 100 people that actually hesitated or I'm explaining myself terribly. Let's start again. 400 people made the course. 100 people decided not to make the course because they thought that it was like, they said that they already knew the basics and they would wait until we released a more advanced course. Look at the level of the students in the last edition. I would say that 20% knew something about coding, 5% knew something about web development. Because one thing, I mean, of course you can know something about Python, but that doesn't mean that you can create web applications if you don't know the technologies or the tools, because the process is completely different. So again, yeah, the exercises are impressive, but don't worry, because the idea is that in the 90 lessons that this course has, you will learn step by step from a single message, super ugly, until we create a whole 3D application that is able to load IFC files and everything. It seems incredible, but believe me, actually, I will be more specific. From the people that participated in the hackathon, the first prize and the second prize were people that knew web development from before, I believe. The rest was people that had no previous experience with web development. So, for instance, I will make a specific example because otherwise it sounds like super generic. I had some of the videos here of the people that won. Helen, I believe Helen had no previous knowledge of web development before taking the course, and you see that he made this 3D application where she doesn't only load a IFC model, but she also created this very nice navigator where you could actually see the globe of the world and navigate down to the BIM model that was, she placed that model in London, and she also loaded a GIS layer of 3D buildings. And yeah, so you can expect to reach more or less this level at the end of the course. Of course, it depends on how much time you put into it. But yeah, this is the kind of things that you will learn to do here. And of course, this is an application working in a browser. So, yep, I hope that answers the question. Let's see. This course, Simone Massetti asks, this course has a time limitation or it's available without limitation? Yep, it's available forever, and that includes all the, if we make in the future, if we make any additions or if we make any change or whatever, you will also have access to all the updates forever. So it's a one-time purchase and permanent access. Peter Leroux asks, if life got busy last time around and I didn't keep up with the schedule, can I join in with the timeline for the second course? Yes, of course. again, we don't have a strong opinion on this, but what we were thinking is that for the second hackathon, the only limitation is that the people that want something in the first hackathon cannot participate, to allow, because it wouldn't be fair, someone having a final application from day one and other people starting from scratch without previous coding knowledge. So what we decided is that people that want something in the last edition won't be able to participate in the second hackathon. But if anyone tried luck in the first edition, and because we had a lot of proposals, and if they didn't get anything, they can try it again, I would say, because most of the people that didn't get anything, I could sense that perhaps they didn't put so much time in the application and so on. So yeah, the idea in the end is to try to not having a community of students per edition. Instead, we want to bring everyone together. We are making more courses. We will also bring more advanced courses. We will also bring those people into the same chat, and we want to build a single community of learning material. So yeah, Suarechisa is right. The access is permanent. Yep. Yeah, Miguel Bazan mentions that there's a course calendar in the... by the way, let me turn on the light. Sorry, I didn't think of this in advance. It will be 1 second. So, yep, there was a calendar because, as I told you, we, instead of making the whole course and then releasing it, in the first edition, we created the course, only the first modules, and then we created the course module by module, using the feedback of the students to adapt the content in real time. Of course, we won't do this again because it would be nonsense to just delete all the content and do this again from scratch. So in this case, it's going to be different, but we don't know how yet. But in the last course, we also didn't know what will happen in the beginning. So my proposal is to give you a couple of weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month, and perhaps we can make a webinar so that you can give us your insights, your feedback, and then we can perhaps start talking about dates. Let's see where the people is, and what do you let's say, where are you at? One thing that we could do to give you some, let's say, some schedule, we could make a webinar, because what we did in last edition, we made a webinar reviewing each section every 2 weeks. I don't know if that's excessive. I feel that the people wasn't like, the people wanted those webinars, but perhaps not so many webinars. So perhaps we can make 1 webinar a month, and each month we review a couple of modules, and we can review the exercises, you can ask us questions, and we can that way have some kind of, let's say, set speed for everyone. So Miguel Bazan asks, is there a deadline for the final project? No, there's no deadline for the final project. There's a deadline only if you want to participate in the hackathon with that final project. Otherwise, you can present the final project anytime and you will get the certificate. Shaunak Banerjee asks about the links in the description. I'm not sure what links you're referring to, but if you comment them and if we have some broken links, we will make sure to fix them as soon as possible. Then, okay, I don't want to miss any question. Jishuan Song asks, hi Antonio, may I check why did you name the project IFC.js? Are you related to Building Smart International? No, I'm not related to Building Smart International. I mean, IFC.js, IFC is an open schema of data schema, and it's open, it's available to anyone for free. So, and of course, I don't want to bore you a lot, but in a nutshell, you will see that I love Paint a lot to explain like concepts. In a nutshell, reading and writing IFC from scratch using just JavaScript is relatively hard, right? So because it wasn't only me, but we decided to create a library to make this super easy, to be able to read IFC files, create a 3D scene, interact with that 3D scene, and write back data to the IFC file and so on. And this is IFC.js, and the name is because, of course, it's IFC, because that's a reference to the open standard, and the .js is a convention. Every time we have a library, and you will learn what a library is in the course, but IFC.js is a library, and the library uses JavaScript. Usually people have this suffix .js, and JS means JavaScript, which is the programming language where this library uses, and the technology that we will use in the course, mainly because that's the technology that is used to create web applications. Eloy asks, do you think that we can execute the planification of the work of the execution of a building with the knowledge? It depends. We will give you all the basics. So this is like, imagine people going to the gym with a personal trainer. Perhaps you go to the gym and just spend 1 hour every week, and after 3 months you say, wow, I feel no difference at all. But if you get involved and you are, you put your effort and you actually have some discipline and always try to go beyond and beyond and beyond, in the end, of course, you will be super fit. So it's up to we will give you, in this course, we cover all the foundation. Don't be mistaken. We are not building Revit from scratch or BIM Collab from scratch. That would be impossible. And if someone tells you that you can do that in 20 hours, they are lying, I can assure you. But we will giving you all the foundations that you need and all the technologies and all the concepts, so that you have this set of tools that you can use to start building your first BIM applications, and also to get deeper. Using the knowledge that we give you, you will be able to get deeper by your own. Because in the end, creating software is like, let's say, painting. Imagine that you go to a painting course and someone asks, hey, do you think that in my first painting, I will be able to create the Mona Lisa? The answer is, hey, probably not. But probably if you get involved, in the end, you will be able to create nice paintings. And from that point, you are able to keep improving and learning more until you get to your point. But by the way, if what Eloy asks, if you're like, there was, I believe, 2 or 3 proposals to the hackathon that did things with 5D and 6D in BIM, I believe. No, 4D and 5D, sorry. I always get confused with the Ds, but yeah, up to you, basically. Are you going to teach the basics on how to host web apps too? Emiliano, yeah, we teach the basics, but this course is mainly focused in frontend, because otherwise, again, we wouldn't have time in 20 hours to explain you everything from scratch. Just to give you some context, because maybe someone is not understanding what I'm saying right now. When we talk about web applications, we have mainly 2 pieces. We have the front end, which is the web browser that you use. And then here you see the very nice 3D scene and everything like the building. You can interact with it. And this is Google Chrome. But then you also have a second piece, which is called the backend, where you have the database with the users and the data and your BIM models and everything, and servers, and these are completely different topics, and each topic has its own complexity. And in this course, we will focus especially here, because that's what in my opinion, it's better to start here because it's more visual, it's more similar to the BIM applications that we are used to use in our daily days. But that, of course, that you could, I mean, this course cover all the foundation, and from there you can follow different paths. Right now we are preparing a advanced front-end course that goes even beyond, but it's going to be like way longer, because in the end this is like math. Like in a 20 hours math course you can learn a specific set of things, but you cannot think that, okay, I will get into a 20 hours math course that starts from scratch, and in the end I will be able to understand all the academic papers regarding math that I come across. That doesn't work like that. This is a learning curve. We will focus on the basics, and we will release more courses covering the rest. But we will give you tools to be able to publish your applications for free. And in fact, in the hackathon, everyone had to publish their application. And for that, we will use GitHub Pages, which is a free service that GitHub gives you to be able to publish things, and don't worry a lot by this piece of the puzzle. So yeah, I mean, and in real life, you have different people working in different things. If you have a company with people working in both places, that's probably a red flag. So yeah, my suggestion is start somewhere, and this is where we start. So Shanak asks, I was asking about the links available in this live stream. The links available in this live stream. If you mean the links below in the description of the video, there we have simply a link to the code of the project, the Discord server, the music that we use, which is open, but we have to credit the music, and the documentation. That's it. The video from the hackathon, I mentioned that before, but maybe I wasn't clear. The last video of the course is let's say the closing ceremony for the hackathon of the first edition. This is a long one. It takes like more than 1 hour, but we had to review, I believe, 15 applications, the 15 winners. So yep. James Barr asks, okay, IFC.js is brilliant. It seems to be heavily focused in being IFC data, not so much on writing or editing. What does the future holds? Yes, of course, we had to start somewhere. And right now, viewing IFCs and also editing data in IFCs, we can do relatively easily. Now we are creating new tools to be able to create IFC from scratch. That has some complexity because it also involves geometry and that stuff, but with what you learn in this course, you will be able to see IFCs in 3D, access all the data, edit that data, and allow the user to edit that data and create a new file with the edited data. So that's also covered in this course. For the future, we are working in displaying data more efficiently. We are working on being able to create scenes from scratch, like 3D scenes from scratch, and export them to IFC. So who knows, maybe in the future we make some modeling tools. But you have to keep in mind that IFC.js is not an end user tool. We are talking about technology that you use to create applications that go to the end user. So yeah. Khan asks again if IFC.js is related to the Building Smart International. The answer is no. I mean, we have talked with the Building Smart International. They have been super nice to us. I like to think that they like the project. At least they have told me so. So yeah, this is completely independent from the Building Smart. The only thing that we have in common is that we work on IFC, which is the format that they create. So yeah. In the end, by the way, just to complete the answer to James, the goal is to be able to have all the tools that you can find in... I don't know if you're familiar with this solution. This is a solution that Autodesk provides. to be able to create applications, especially focused towards digital twins, a term that you probably hear a lot these days. The goal is to be able to build something like this, but open, and something that belongs to a community, not a very large company, which means that you don't have to worry about the big corporation suddenly multiplying the prices by 3, which is something that happened to Forge not so long ago. So yeah, that's the end goal. This is for us the end goal. I think that we will reach that next year, so let's see how it goes. This will also include a database that is already provided. It's going to be a software as a service. I don't want to spoil much about this, but let's see. But yeah, one thing that I don't know if this is interesting to you, but one thing that's important to understand is that all the money that you have paid for being part of this course is money that we are reinvesting back in the project to make more features and make more courses, more advanced courses. For instance, if you go to IFC.js.io, you will find this bounties area, and the idea is that we are using that money to pay people to make code for us. Maybe sometimes it's ourselves, we pay ourselves to make code, other times it's other people. We create tasks, anyone can take those tasks and they can get paid for them. Most of the tasks are coding, but not all of them. And there's a wide range of prices of things that we need to get done. And this money comes from the money that we make from the courses. Just if you are curious about IFC.js and money, the money is as transparent as the code. You know that IFC.js is open source, it's free, it's open, you can see all the code that we did. If you go to Open Collective, this is basically a company that allows us to have money without being a company in a transparent way. And you will see that this is all the people that have given money to IFC.js. You are going to be in this list automatically at some point as well. And yeah, you see how much money do we have, how much money do we spend, where did we spend the money, who got the money. It's absolute transparency. So and this is how, the idea of the project is that in the end we have a, let's say, a open technology, and all the features are free and always are going to be free. We will never charge anyone for features. And then we create courses to teach people to use those features or to become BIM software developers. And then with the courses, we make money that we handle through Open Collective. And that money is used to finance making more features and making the project better. And this is the way that we make this whole thing sustainable. Yes, can ask if IFC.js work on client side? Yes, exactly. IFC.js is fully built on JavaScript, which means that you don't need a server to execute that. All the applications that I show you and all the applications of the hackathon are 100% client side, which means cheaper. Yes, Ivar asks the application that the Roots released, I believe, yesterday, the Stellar, which is an IFC viewer on the web, uses some parts of IFC.js? Yes, exactly. And that's the whole point of the project. We want to empower other companies to build their solutions and to try to get into the market with the advantage of not having to make the whole thing themselves. They can stay on our shoulders and they can use it. And we find other ways to make money, like the courses or the community or other things that we will publish in the future. But the whole philosophy of the project is that until now, all the companies that we have in the sector charge you for features so that they have features that are closed, nobody can see the code, and they charge you for those features. But we want to change the way this works. We want to make the features open and available to anyone, and then find other ways to make the project sustainable. That's the strategy. So yeah, and also just for your information, the project is relatively young. This started as a pet project, so it's something I was doing in my free time, and suddenly more people joined and suddenly it started growing. And we only started making money some months ago, so this is relatively small yet, but I expect this to get very, very big. So yeah, this is not just something we make in our free time as a hobby. We really want to make a change and to hopefully have an impact to improve the industry. So let's see how this goes. Yes, that's a very good question. Sylvia asks, since IFC.js is free and open source, most businesses built with IFC.js be free too? The answer is nope. There's multiple licenses regarding open source, but the license that we have is MIT. You can look for this, like MIT license. And that means basically that you can use the code, you can sell the code, you can do whatever you want with the code, and you don't have to give anything back to us. Because that's the philosophy. This is, I mean, anyone can have a different opinion on this, but our opinion is that the way to beat the BIM market is not convincing everyone to become open source, but convincing everyone to use open source technology, because that way everyone can play the game. We have hundreds of solutions, and more sellers in the market means cheaper prices, better offers, because if you have a market with just a few sellers, that means that the sellers make the rules. But if you have technology that enable company to create commercial solutions and sell them and compete against the previous sellers, that equalizes the market. So yes. Yeah, we are aware that many people is unhappy with Forge, and the goal is to make exactly that, but community driven, because the project is non-profit, and also it's not for sale. It's something like, I don't want to talk too much because I don't want to bore you, but I can tell you that there's already been a big company that has, let's say, offered the possibility of buying IFC.js, but because the whole thing is built in a decentralized way, and the whole thing is built on the trust that the people have in us and the community, this is not something that is for sale. Like the day we sell it, whatever it means, because the code is open. So if I remove that from GitHub, anyone else can literally just upload that again. It's like trying to remove the happy birthday song from YouTube. I mean, it's impossible. It's impossible. So yeah, that's what we are trying. Yeah, Inigo, thanks a lot. We also hope that this will succeed, and let's see how we scale this, because right now we are, of course, this is the first time we do something like this. We are learning on the way. I'm an architect, by the way. I'm not a software developer, so I don't know if I'm a software developer, but I didn't study software engineering. I don't know if software engineers learn about scaling software businesses and that kind of things. I don't know. Anyway, we are learning on the way, and the goal for the rest of the year and next year is to scale the project, to make many hundreds of thousands of dollars and reinvest all that money to empower a lot of companies to make a lot of money in the BIM software industry themselves. So Shonak asks, where is IFC.js in comparison to SEOKit? So I'm not sure about SEOKit. When we talk about software, we usually talk about layers of abstraction, and that means that before you see the 3D, the nice 3D in your browser, there's many people building a lot of things that need to happen, and in the end of this chain of things that need to happen before you see the 3D in your screen, you have this is the GPU of the computer. This is ones and zeros and very complex stuff. And here you have, for example, the person that invented JavaScript, so that it makes it easier to communicate with the GPU using WebGL. So this is IFC.js. This is where we are. We are providing free technology, and mainly for viewing and editing data. This is where SEOKit is. SEOKit is, I would say, one level of abstraction beyond IFC.js, and in fact, as far as I know, and maybe this is wrong, you have to ask Lindsay directly, but I think that they use some parts of IFC.js in their software as well. So yeah, I would say that SEOKit is someone selling software. We are not selling software, so completely different. And also they are using some parts of IFC.js. So we are one level below in terms of business or abstraction, let's say. Okay, I hope that answered the question. Did you have some contact synergy with Speckle? Yeah, also, again, Speckle is a company that is here, and they have a end user solution. And they also, as far as I know, they use some parts of IFC.js in their software. So we are not the people that provide end users with solutions. We are the guys. In other words, to make this simpler, we do not sell cars. We sell car pieces, right? So that the car manufacturers can create their cars and sell them to the end users. And this is where we are. So yeah, and we also have a splendid relationship with Speckle. They are super nice guys, and yep. Open platforms always beat the closed gardens. But you know, I don't want to. I have been saying this for a while, but in my opinion, it's not about making a free solution. In my opinion, it's about making free technology, which is not the same, and enable a lot of different players to create commercial solutions that they can try to sell to different people. And this, all these people competing with each other, it's what is really going to, in my opinion, enable the market to offer better software at a better price. So yeah, I think that covers all the questions. Of course, we can, if you want to talk more about the project, we can also use some of the webinars to do that. And if you're curious about how we do this or the future plans, feel free to reach out. We will be happy to speak with you. And yeah, I think we have gone a bit off tracks, but I think that should cover everything that you need to go to get started with the course. One thing that would help us like really a lot is that if you can go to LinkedIn and make a publication saying, hey, I'm making the IFC.js crash course, and I don't know, perhaps making a snapshot of the platform or saying really anything you want to do. If you do that, that will really help us a lot, because the more students we have, the more money we have that we can invest back in features to make IFC.js even better and make more courses and make, yeah, basically, you get it, basically. So we would really appreciate if you can make a post before the end of today. Sorry, before the end of tomorrow, because in the end of tomorrow we will close the registration. That will really help us go further with the project and improve. Okay, one question from Javier. Is Blender BIM add-on the same as IFC.js? No. IFC.js is not the only library that enables developers to work with IFC. I think that there's mainly three, let's say, famous libraries. One is IFC Open Shell, which is basically for Python. Then you have XBEM, which is basically for C#. And then you have IFC.js, which is for JavaScript. And these three technologies usually cannot work together. Like you cannot make, you don't go and say, okay, I'm gonna make a web application. What language do I use to make the application? I can assure you that it's going to be JavaScript. But if you say, oh, I'm going to make a, I don't know, cross-platform application, well, maybe it's Python, maybe it's the C# or maybe it's JavaScript. So it really depends on what kind of application you want to build. The focus of this course is web applications, so it's going to be this. And in the end, these are similar libraries that do similar stuff, but in other technologies. And Blender BIM, it's simply an add-on from Blender that uses this library to be able to work with IFC. So yeah, that probably answers that question. So yeah, thanks a lot everyone for being here. We really appreciate your trust in the project and in the course, and we really hope to be able to give you back all the value that you gave to the project in the form of knowledge, and hopefully help you make the leap and like make your first steps in your career, or maybe not your first steps, but like help you progress as a BIM software developer. So yeah, I think we already have 1 hour of webinar. I think that should be enough. So if there's no other questions, thanks Eloy. I will see you around in the Discord channel or email or in the course, in the comments. We will make announcements, we will make a new calendar probably so that you know the webinars that we plan. But yeah, for now, just feel free to wander around the course, get your feet wet, try making some of the exercises, and yep, I'll see you around. Thanks a lot, everyone. Bye-bye.